the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Hello, God bless America, and welcome to the Freedom of Thought podcast. I am your host, Palladino Joey, or Joey Owygen. Freedom of Thought is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps. I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It is a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. Well, Donald Trump continues to dominate in the primaries. It's almost like a non-topic in a lot of ways, but then again, you still have people trying to keep him off the ballot, even here in Minnesota, obviously in Colorado. As that battle continues, it is some of the most silly and ridiculous nonsense you could ever think of. The overall average as of February 17th, according to project538.com, of course, you know, Trump 76.2%, Nikki Haley 16.4%. The others, they've all dropped out. So it's down to Haley and Trump. But it's like pretty obvious where it's heading. Trump has definitely surged since, about early to midway through January. He's surged even stronger than ever. But obviously with other candidates dropping out, and Haley surged up as well because of some of them. So that's kind of where we're at this stage. So, yeah, I mean, I have no fear that Donald Trump will be the nominee for the Republican Party. It's just a matter of, like, are states like Colorado going to try to keep him off the ballot altogether? Unfortunately, odds are a state like that, I mean, I don't know, it's one of those liberal woke states that always votes Democrat anyway, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Minnesota is what it is, but there's a pretty good chance Donald Trump will win in an absolute landslide as long as everything is honest and fair at the end of the day. But in this world, I don't know about honest and fair. It feels like something that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about some of the Super Bowl a little bit. You know, we'll get to that in a little while, at least if I feel like it. No, I don't know. Obviously, again, yes, I mean, I like football, but I don't like what's been going on politically around football, and obviously the sideshow, the Yuck City Chefs. At least to the 49ers, at least their quarterback's like a born-again Christian, at least from what it sounds like. Whereas I can't say that about the Chiefs. I'm sure there's a Christian on each. I'm sure there's Christians on each team and everything, but when it comes to like the leaders of the team and such, at least Brock Purdy showed some Christianity and some faith. Where like like I was hoping. I was on the 49ers side because of that. Obviously, like, what would you rather have? Brock Purdy give the glory to God after winning, like he did in the NFC title game? Or Travis Kelce and, what's-her-face, Taylor Swift, give the glory to themselves? That's pretty much what they did. Patrick Mahomes, pretty much the same thing. And to his teammates, like, they're so great and everything. It's adorable, I know. The sincerity is just overwhelming. So, yes, that's kind of the sports side of the show, and we'll hear about some more. I do have a call from Ray from Kentucky that's going to be on this show, and that's going to be a blast. So, obviously, 6 minutes of unbelievable conversation there from Ray. Looking forward to that. Also kind of getting a laugh, a person I made fun of, so if we want to stay in the sports world here for a minute, a person I made fun of for a while because it's always got his big mouth, going, Doc Rivers. He's the guy who said, like, stop killing us or whatever. Are you kidding me? Do you really think police are out hunting black people? I think you're out of your mind. If that's what you believe, you're nuts. So I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. So stuff like that and other political rants he's done in the past. So it's funny how the Milwaukee Bucks, who had one of the best records in the league, fired rookie coach Adrian Griffin and hired Doc Rivers of all people. And what were they, like 3-7 since then, including the Timberwolves trouncing them last week. I believe it was a week ago from either today or yesterday, I believe. Absolutely trounced the Milwaukee Bucks by over 20 points. So that was pretty funny. As Doc Rivers' success story so far in Milwaukee has been absolutely pathetic. So I'm actually really enjoying that in a lot of ways. So not because I hate the Bucks, but because I'm not a fan of Doc Rivers at all. The dude's got a huge mouth, and it's extremely annoying to deal with. This another topic that I've been, it's been on my mind off and on for a while, obviously. So we're going to get a little bit into some of the other quote unquote weird stuff you could say out there. So all this alien encounters conversation. Oh, this person was abducted and this and that, and these people were abducted and they saw this and they spoke to them and blah blah blah. Well, more and more information that's been coming out over the course of time. Obviously, you hear this on certain podcasts and such, like a Blurry Creatures or something, or others out there, even like Haunted Cosmos and such. So just kind of giving them shout outs and citing them where you hear some of this information, and cases going back into the 1950s and such where they talk about, being abducted and all of that. But now it's not like these people are making it up. They're not. But the fact of the matter is these are not aliens like this. They're from Mars or from faraway planet like E.T., like the movie E.T. They're not. They're actually demonic encounters. Just like that video I talked about a couple months back now, I believe, where this person was taken away and taken to this like asteroid, whatever, and then he saw this jolly, wonderful old man and these creatures that look like they're from a movie, from this movie, like I forgot the name of it now. It was 1988 or something like that. Some kind of movie, I don't know. That look like these gray characters wearing these hoods. I'm like thinking, boy, that's really angelic. Boy, I'm sure that's what angels look like, just like these little creatures from movies. These short creatures wearing hoods. That sounds so angelic to me. Wow. And that, we have it all wrong and that everything is going to be okay and blah, blah, blah. And it was like the biggest load of crap I've ever seen in my life. Yet it's getting like multi-million views. And unfortunately, from the looks of it, people were like, wow, that's amazing, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, that's not of God at all. It's actually the complete opposite. You're being deceived, you're being lied to, and you better watch out. You really better. So stories about like, these creatures want to experiment with their subjects. So that would be like human beings, right? These creatures, they want to experiment, and including stuff that sounds a lot like Mount Hermon, a lot like Genesis 6. Like in some cases, like they would mate with the females. They'd have sex with a female human, whatever, and create these hybrid beings. That sounds a lot like Jan 6. That sounds, that too. No, I'm just kidding. Gen 6. Genesis 6. That's what's got me all flustered and messed up there. That sounds a lot like Genesis 6. It's insane. And what's even crazy about all of this is that these elitists out there, the globalists, are in touch with these beings, and also that these beings, way back into the 1950s, were even talking about things like climate change and such. And it's like, no, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? And it's like you start to realize that that's where a lot of these elitists are getting their orders from, are these beings. And it's the craziest thing of all time. So it comes back where they might think, it's these extraterrestrials that are this supreme race. They're way, way advanced. It's like Star Trek and this and that, when they're everything but, they're everything but like good. Sure, they might be what appear to be a supreme race to us at the moment, but they are demons. They're principalities. They're demons. They're not of God at all, and they're steering leaders of this planet astray. They also go as far as to say that Jesus is just one of them. He's just kind of one of them. He's not above them at all, and blah blah blah. So more and more deception that's out there, and it's been going on for almost a century at least. In some cases, maybe even longer than that. So it's insanely frightening when you think about that. That kind of thing is actually going on. It's not a joke. It's not a rumor. This is real stuff. So it's pretty frightening when you consider that this type of stuff actually is happening, in real life. This is all real life type of stuff. It's not a joke. It's not just, made up out of thin air or anything crazy like that. So, wow. So that's kind of where we can go off into the, into the weird topics and such. But it's real. That's what's scary. It is real. It is real, and it all makes sense as to what's happening. So, absolutely fascinating stuff out there. Might as well bring this up now. I have not really watched the video yet, not really fully because it's long. But Jonathan Cahn has come to the conclusion, you may have heard of Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, of course, Christian Jew. out there who's been around, obviously, very much involved in the Christian world, obviously. And yeah, I mean, I'm a big supporter, of course. He's come to the conclusion that Jesus was actually born on April the 1st. So fascinating. Recommend you check that out when you have time. April the 1st. So obviously not Christmas. I think a lot of people know that Jesus was not born on December the 25th. Like, it doesn't add up to really anything at the end of the day. So April the 1st. That's an interesting thought coming out. So do give that some thought. Obviously, I have no major information. I might get deeper and deeper into that at a later date. Other conversations, again, I mean, I'd like to get a show where I go heavily into like the giants of North America that did exist long ago, where they fled away from, like, say, the Battle of Jericho many years ago. We're talking way back in biblical times, where they wound up in this area, this continent, be it via ship or whatever, where they actually fled away from the Battle of Jericho, and some of them wound up in North America, obviously other parts of the world as well. So I'd like to get deeper and deeper into some of that at some point on certain episodes, off and on. So freedom of thought has been kind of bouncing all over the place, and I should probably try to keep certain shows in one direction and other shows in other directions, where, like, this show we're going to talk about, the giants of North America, like the Rephaim or Nephilim or whatever you want to call them. Or, this show might be more political, Trump v. Biden, this and that. And this one maybe about some of that, some like biblical conversation and such as well, which can be related to the giants of North America as well. So apologize if I kind of tend to bounce all over the place. That's kind of how this show is, but at the same time, I'd like to be somewhat more organized in the future, if humanly possible. It's the fact of that I'm unable to really create a schedule for this show. It'd be nice if I could and kind of be more like ready to go, have something really built up and all set. It's just kind of like random like times that I'm able to be available. So that's kind of what's probably not helped the show a whole lot in the past. So I do apologize for that. Though I feel I've had some pretty nice shows, and I've heard nice things from some of you out there, and I really appreciate that. If you like the show, please help it grow by giving a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other apps that may allow you to do that, even liking it on YouTube. It's on YouTube now, but in podcast form. It's like a video, but it's all audio. And of course, YouTube Music, which it will ultimately replace Google Podcasts. So unfortunately, Google Podcasts will be going away on April 2nd, 2024, coming up in the not too distant future. So with that, we're going to step away for a second and give Ray Ferguson, Ray from Kentucky, the floor. Take it away, Ray.
Hey, Joey. This is Ray from Kentucky calling into the Freedom of Thought podcast. And today is a sad day because we get the liberal woke San Francisco 40 whiners facing the liberal woke Kansas shitty Chiefs. It's the ultimate woke city in America versus the ultimate woke couple in America in the ultimate woke shitty Super Bowl. And this is all a sad attempt to get that white trash fake teeth singer Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl. So she endorsed Sleepy Joe Biden. Once the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, she will get even more attention and she will endorse Sleepy Joe. Then the breakup begins, proving that this was all a liberal sham to get Travis Kelce to promote Bud Light and the vaccine with Taylor Swift as a stipend so Travis can finally get laid for once by someone other than his fathead coach. That's just the prime example of an American sellout. Just like Dana White in the UFC promoting Bud Light, which still makes me sick to this day. Someone asked me why I hate those two so much and why I can't be happy for a good story for two people in love. Because it's fucking fake, like Travis Kelce's mama's titties. These two were paid for and bought for by the left and sold their souls to Satan to promote a left-winged agenda. Why does the National Woke League allow athletes to promote left-wing propaganda is beyond me. I used to have family that lived in liberal woke Kansas, which is where the liberal Kansas shitty Chiefs play. They plastered Bud Light everywhere for the NFL draft. That is also the same state where voters approved of killing babies in the womb. They literally voted to murder children. How fucking disgusting. Kansas used to be a Christian conservative state like Kentucky. It's sad that changed. Kansans support a liberal woke football team in addition to having a woke governor and not protecting our children in other countries, laugh at us behind closed doors for it. But as usual, I will continue to boycott these liberal woke sports leagues and continue to watch sports run by conservatives where they don't ever kneel for the anthem like golf, track, and field. Next on the list, why the hell are we in war with Iran, Iraq, and everyone else? Is this part of Biden's gloriously terrible plan to save Ukraine from Russia? The sad part is he is letting his wife, Jill Obama, and Obama's transgender wife make these decisions for him. And we're the ones suffering. Soon, gas prices will go up and people will have to work 2 to 3 jobs just so they can afford to put food on the table. It's terrible. I have a story to share. I was at a bar, and this liberal woke coward had the nerve to tell me the election was not rigged, and that elections are never rigged, and that the software system is safe and can't be hacked, nor do vote counters rig elections. He said that Fox News even said so back in 2016. He showed me a video of Fox News saying so, but I still don't buy that bullshit. He then told me that more than 90 judges and 60 court cases dismissed the claims of a rigged election in 2020. I said, bull fucking shit. It took me a lot to keep myself calm and not fight the coward. These liberal blokes deserve to have their teeth punched in. It's unfortunate that liberals have rights in this country because they don't deserve them, because they weaponize their rights and freedoms in this once great country. Funny enough, this dumbass was drinking Bud Light. It's sad the establishment still serves that piss, but that's okay. Because my president, Donald John Trump, is coming back this year to win the presidential election for a record-breaking 3rd time. Mail-in ballots, fake vote counts, and your silly vaccines and masks won't help you this time. That shit ain't gonna work this time. Donald John Trump will return to office and turn this liberal, gay-loving, anti-Christian, communist woke country into a Christian conservative, mask-free, vaccine-free country. Countries will not only go back to respecting us, but they will go back to fearing us, because that is what the United States of America is all about. My President, Donald John Trump, will bring that back. And when Donald John Trump returns to office, these communist liberals better run for their life, because Donald John Trump will get them and throw them in jail for life. There won't be no forgiveness or no pardons, just consequences and punishment. Donald John Trump will not only make this a criminal-free country, but the rest of the world will learn from us and be better. Because that is the reach and influence my president has, unlike this sleepy loser who was allegedly elected. Like, I should believe that shit. I can't wait for the 2024 election, because once that election is over, we will be able to have a happy Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year before Inauguration Day. Joey, thanks for taking my call, and God bless you. Ray from Kentucky signing off. Trump 2024, fuck your feelings.
Oh my goodness. Yep, that was awesome. Thank you, Ray. Thank you very much, and God bless you also. Woo, it sounds like Dan Bongino. Out a little bit, a little bit like Dan Bongino out there going up and telling to give the liberals the double barrel middle finger. Yep. So yes, I agree. I agree on all of that. Of course. Yeah, I can't wait to have Trump back in office. Absolutely. Yep. I mean. Yeah, I mean, I like the whole, like San Francisco, it is what it is. Obviously, it's a very woke city. It's just, like I was supporting Brock Purdy in a sense. At least he has a Christian point of view going in compared to some of these other people. It's like it's so rare now that you hear players giving the glory to God and all that. At least C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans did that as well. But of course, liberal NBC or CBS, whatever stupid organization, they're all pretty much the same. Edited out as he was saying that. So that's pretty pathetic, actually. It really is. So, boy, we can't even say the name of Jesus anymore. It's pretty dumb, isn't it? But obviously you knew that is pretty dumb. No doubt about it. Yeah, about how Travis Kelce... Yeah, I mean, I think it's fake, too, and that there will be a breakup at some point. Even if there isn't, it's still fake, and obviously the breakup, yeah, it's not going to last. I mean, there's just no way. If it lasts, I'll be completely shocked. Like, these kind of relationships never do. Maybe at most, they'll last like a year, 2 years or something like that. And yeah, like, obviously supporting Biden, like, she's so great, and she's so cool. And it's sad to think how Travis Kelce at one point sounded like he respected Trump years ago, but it's like he just kind of, I don't know. It's like he got infected by the devil, like sold his soul to the devil to be more and more popular, more famous, more this and that. And yeah, the fact that he's in every stupid commercial ever, and his brother's like become a complete moron as well, like taking his shirt off and stuff and waving it around during the, the Super Bowl and stuff, like it's so cool. Or was it even the AFC title game? It's just like stupid. Yeah, I think it was when they went to the Super Bowl, and then like all this crazy partying, and they think they're all that. Yeah, and then now Jason Kelce's showing up in commercials as well. It's just like, oh, for heaven's sake, why can't it all just go away? Just go the bleep away. Like, absolutely tired of all of it. So it's just, yeah, it's annoying. It sucks. It's stupid. But yeah, I guess I'm not surprised. That's how the liberal media is. That's how this liberal world truly is at the end of the day. So I'll completely understand any frustrations anybody out there that may have that. Obviously, feels the same frustrations that Ray from Kentucky and myself have with all of this woke agenda and all the BS out there that's constantly being shoved down our throats. It never literally stops. Literally never stops. So also, again, it's just sad. Obviously, the video game world, of course, most gamers are liberal, ultra left, woke, obnoxious clowns and such, which is annoying. But obviously not every gamer. Obviously, there's good conservative ones like me out there that, retro gamers, though. Like, the modern ones are, like, the worst, obviously. Obviously, the modern ones are the worst. So, yeah, there was this Facebook page, where they sell T-shirts, right? And it's, so this will be kind of related to what you were talking about, these a-holes that, like, think, they think we're crazy for saying Trump won, basically. So, yes, it's like these cool shirts, like, oh, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That looks really cool. All the characters on there, King Hippo, and so on and so forth. You could go on all day, like Mario shirts and this and that. But then there's this one shirt that just stood out like a sore thumb that had been dipped in shit. There, now I guess we're going to make this in, that's the one thing. We're going to make this an explicit show. It's too late. It's explicit. So I might as well just throw that in there. It was dipped in crap, basically. The shirt said, "No, he didn't win. You're in a cult." And it's like, excuse me, who's really in a cult here? Take a look at your demonic background with your wonderful President Biden, who is not a president at all. He's a piece of crap. He really is. This demonic background in that speech right around, like a year later or so, absolutely demonic garbage. And then, of course, that fascist speech, they started making fun of us. It's like, yeah, it actually was. Tell me what wasn't fascist about that speech, where he's basically like, basically like, yeah, we're going to deal with you people, or basically he's kind of calling us out and declaring war on MAGA Republicans and such. And it's so stupid. Like who is he to even say that kind of stuff? It's as divisive as it gets. Like, don't ever tell me you're a uniter when you talk like that. There's no way you can ever say that at the end of the day. So it's like, you have a president with a background like that. Can you imagine if Donald J. Trump had a Nazi-looking background that looked like Nazi soldiers standing side by side, standing at his sides while giving the speech? What the media would have said after that? But no, with Biden, oh no, that's America. That's patriotic. What are you talking about? You guys are nuts. But if it was Trump, they'd be like, wow, he really is Hitler. He's literally Hitler. Well, here's the thing. I'd like to see the gas chambers that Trump has put together for whatever groups he supposedly hates so much. It's like, you guys are crazy. absolutely nuts. So it's a sad truth, a sad reality that all the liberal media tends to shove down our throats and support all the time. So, yep, obviously the Super Bowl, what was that, young Spice or something? Some person named Spice with like demonic, like inverted crosses and such. And of course, the media is going to dismiss that right away. Of course, they are. And any liberal media, any liberal in general, is going to dismiss that right away. But obviously, that person had, that person has an agenda, and it ain't for God. That's for sure. So that was frightening and scary. For once, we didn't get a whole lot of New World Order symbolism during the actual halftime show, other than her. She was, disgusting and scary. But the other person, what's his name, Usher, I recognize the music a little bit. I couldn't care less about it. I've never really been into hip hop, so it's not my cup of tea. That wasn't really hip. It's it's R&B. It's not rap. It's R&B. I'm not a fan either, but sadly, it's the state of the music today. It sounded like a masterpiece compared to the garbage you hear today, which is like, it's just that's every second. That's all you hear in the background, and some punks, running their big mouth, about how cool they are. Basically, that's all hip hop is to me, as far as I'm concerned, and it's blasted down our throats every second at every sporting event, which drives me nuts, and I'm sure it drives you nuts as well. So. Oh boy, where do we go from here? Yeah, I mean, this show's been all over the place, and I know I probably need to have shows like this show's about this, that show's about that. But for now, I guess I'm kind of going in multiple directions. But I suppose that's what freedom of thought is in a lot of ways. Ray's definitely gotten a bit vulgar, but it's okay. I mean, obviously he's passionate, he's frustrated with the way the country is, and I completely understand. I mean, with the way things are going with these people, and I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs where we truly are. Another example, like say the city of Golden Valley where I live, it's a decent suburb. Yes, it's close to North Minneapolis, which is not a good part of town at all. In fact, it's really not. But it's Golden Valley, Minnesota. Like, it's not necessarily like Wayzata, like rich, but it's a nice, quiet suburb west of Minneapolis, right? And there was never really much of anything bad going on here, like ever. Maybe, there's always going to be some nut job, some bad person here and there. But I'm noticing a trend. Like, I don't know, what was it, like a month and a half ago? Somebody a few blocks from here was shot, not killed. It was multiple people who were actually hit. They did not have fatal wounds. So that's the good news. But just the fact that people getting shot, that's really happening. Like kind of like being, in the inner city, that kind of nonsense. There was that. And then, what was it, like a week and a half ago, Wednesday before last, 5 a.m., all of a sudden in the parking lot of my apartment right behind me, like where I could pretty much, like it's right next to what would be my right ear, basically. You're under arrest! Screaming out, you're under arrest, put your hands up. Don't reach for it! Don't reach for it! Don't reach for it! Put your hands up! And I was like, is this really Golden Valley? It ended up being what looked to be a drug bust. This is Golden Valley, Minnesota. Geez, like, what's happening? This kind of stuff never happened here, ever. And now it's becoming like, oh, that's just, another one. It's frightening. Society is really taking a crap. It really is. And if you think it's okay, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. Liberal leadership and all that, I don't think there's any surprise with what kind of mayors that have been elected here the last couple of times. And the current new one, I guess, I don't think it's really a surprise with how crappy even Golden Valley is slowly becoming now. You go anywhere pretty much in Golden Valley, it's not the best. Even going to Plymouth, Minnesota, which is even a cut above Golden Valley, it doesn't look like it used to. It just doesn't. There's just a different vibe everywhere now. When is it going to be too much? When is it going to be enough? When is enough going to be enough, as Dan Bongino would say? Obviously, people like Truth to Ponder's Bob Bierman would say that as well. When is enough going to be enough? When are we going to finally completely wake up and say no to all this garbage, no to all this wide open borders, which is just an absolute disgusting thing that's been going on nonstop. That's the sex trafficking and such. When is it all going to finally be enough where these people get completely voted out and shamed. And then obviously the woke fake conservatives out there that are nothing but rhinos. They're basically big deep state conservatives, that are finally going to be weeded out like, what's his name? Unfortunately, in Kentucky, of all places, Ray, you got to vote this clown out, and I'm sure you'd like to. That'd be Mitch McConnell. Like, he has done nothing good for Republicans or conservatives, pretty much in forever. I can't really name anything good that Mitch McConnell's ever done. I can't imagine Ray supporting him. I cannot. What did Mitch McConnell do to help Trump? That's for sure. He just turned his back on him, just like that piece of crap vice president. Unfortunately, he let us down in a big way. That would be, Mike Pence. He completely let us down at the end of the day. So, yeah. Oh, extremely frustrating. Extremely frustrating at the end of the day. So, yeah, I guess that's where we stand right now here on Freedom of Thought. Ray, that was an incredible call, of course. And, yeah, I mean, it can get me going forever listening to that. And, it was absolutely awesome, speaking for a lot of us in a lot of ways. Obviously, again, there's some F-bombs thrown in there. I understand. I mean, I can imagine it's like, the insane frustration. You're sick of this garbage, and I am too, honestly. So that's just kind of how that is. With that said, I really want to thank every one of you for listening. Again, please share this show. Please give positive ratings. Get the algorithms going. Share it. Tell your friends and all that. And I'd like to bring more and more quality shows. I'd like to improve the quality of this show. I think it can be better. Absolutely can be better. And that's on me at the end of the day to come in with some really fun and interesting topics for you to get into, obviously, because you can't just come on and have a conversation and or just rant, obviously. And no, obviously what Ray did, that was perfect. That's perfect. Very topical, one topic after another. Very well organized, good presence behind the microphone. That was awesome stuff. And obviously, I'm just saying I could be better. I could give a better product myself as well. So, but if you'd like to support this show, please do. There's a little link in the show description if you'd like to support the show, even just 99 cents. Just anything. It would help, maybe to help improve this show as well. And I'm not going to say keep me on air. It's like, well, I'm not paying super expensive bills necessarily, but at the same time, obviously it would be nice to get help to pay for certain things. Obviously my microphone right now is actually kind of damaged. The stand is like broken for one, and the top of it's all bent up. It wouldn't be the worst thing to get at least parts of it replaced, if not the whole thing at some point. So, and I really appreciate this microphone so much. So even stuff like that can really, really help improve the show and kind of keep it going in a positive direction. Because if this microphone, the stand falls apart, I'm screwed. So at the end of the day, that would be a bummer. With that said, thank you again so much for listening. God bless every one of you, and God bless the United States of America.